I am Tommy, and you are on the lifeboat. What's happening? How you been? It is Christmas, merry, and all of that. It's also hotter than the hinges to hell. Let's say hi to some people, shall we? See what we got in here. Hey, Krista Melinda, good to see you. Judy Lee, how are you? Lynn Sanity, Shelly, AC, Motherbird, what's happening? Coach Writer, Anderson Danish, how are you? James Collins cares. Al Paint, he's at least getting real nervous. I'll tell you what. Jack Cord, how are you? Motherbird 63. Angie, what's happening? Allison Metcalf Palumbo, good to see you. Shelly, how are you? Silver Surfer, Incarnasol. Maria, tell you what, Cooter by the Lake, there you are. Orange, good to see you. Twisted Sister Paranormal, a little too spicy. Sharon Clark, little too spicy. You're going to fit in just fine. Kestrel 42, how are you? Jennifer Matthews, woohoo! Silver Surfer, good to see you. Bluster Crochet, Chica Cherry Cola, Feliz Navidad. Lori Hart, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Deborah, there's my brother, the Johnny Scoville. Wine a little bit more, how are you? Elizabeth, good to see you. Kim, how are you? Analog Adventures. That's a great name. I forgot. Cindy Schweitzer, how are you? News Nut. Tell you, you're going to hear a lot of BS, people. They're talking about just how sweet Diddy's Christmas was. So, and I'm going to tell you what really happened in there. But before we do, just going to say a little, I'm sorry, it was my litter box. My greater than anything on planet Earth litter box. I'm going to be saying hello to the people that mean the most to me. It's Christmas time. Jamie Palmer, chilling and chatting. Hey, if you get a call from a guy tonight, you bail. Speaking of getting calls from people, hey, there she is.
Well, I started to wonder if you even noticed that I was here, babe.
Oh, come on now. How could I not notice you, Quibs?
Don't
That
you
girl,
look
good to
cute
see you.
in red?
What's that?
You look cute in red.
Why, thank you. Do you remember this? We bought this together. We bought this in Bug Tussle.
Was that at the Goodwill?
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. No, but it was at a thrift store.
Nice. Can you blow it up so I can check my teeth? I got some lipstick on it, I think.
Hold on. Let's get you. There you go.
All right.
Now
We're all
good.
set.
Let's
Thank
see
you
the Buseys
so much.
one more time. One more time on the Buseys. Good. Meredith Lynn, good to see you. Insanity, how are you? Johnny Scoville, say hello. Come in.
How are you?
There's my brother. Hello. Merry Christmas, brother.
Look, holy hell, the gang's all here.
There
Merry Christmas, everybody. My brother, Johnny Scoville. If you've not gone over and smacked the subscribe button over there, shame on you. Chase the heat. Can we get somebody with a wrench to put that up there? And if you have a wrench, put my girlfriend's link up there as well. Well, it's important, and I'll tell you why. We got a ridiculous response. We killed it on that video. And I'm talking about response, like the number of comments and the number of likes and just the overall, difference between what video?
Who are you talking to, your brother or me?
You, the one on the Royal Order of Dirtbags.
Oh, the Royal Clowns?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that video killed it. People were really, really fired up. And the general response is, please continue to run with this, man.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
These innocent creeps.
It is. Hold on one sec. Check this out. This is a great. Is that the Hillary Rodham Clinton? It is absolutely the Nimbus 2000, which is a very similar model. But yep, that is why that is there. Just in case you got to get out of Dodge really, really quickly, and every other form of transportation is taken, the witch's broom will get it done. So, did you have a fun day?
Yes. And everyone, thank you for coming over to my channel and subscribing. I want to say that first. If you did, look, I got one. Yeah, babe, I had a fun day. I wish that you had been with me. I wish we would have been together today. Huxley just said that too. You know, Huxley, just a few minutes ago, we were talking to his dad, and right before his dad called, he said, I'd really like to go to Tucson to meet Tommy's family. And I said, well, we'll make that happen sometime.
Absolutely.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But did you have a glorious day, babe? Hey, look, it's your watch.
Yeah, look at that. Vintage watch there. Yeah, I had a decent day. I hung out with family. There were no real tough moments, no harsh moments. And a lot of times with family there is. But I'll be honest, the older I get, the more that I like to kind of, I mean, I love everybody. I love my family. I love everybody. I'm getting to the point where,
What?
you know, when I was younger, nightclubs were fun because there was 5,000 people in them. And then you get a little bit older and you're like, yeah, maybe a bar, right? Because there's 150 people in it. And then it kind of keeps getting pared down. And then you're like, it's a small gathering of, 10, 12 people. And now I'm to the point where, they just want it to be a really small gathering. We'll show
Now
you.
you don't even wear anything but pajama pants.
You can't prove that. What
Nightclubs.
You think I'm wearing pajama pants?
Pajama pants? Pajama pants?
You happen to be wrong. What do you think of that? I'm not wearing sleep pants. So there.
Yesterday I was wearing no pants. I sat here in my underwear yesterday.
No, you didn't. I have a camera. I would have seen it.
Not in here you don't. Not in here you don't. Nightclubs, you say. I've never been to a nightclub in my life. Scientologists don't really circulate around the nightclub era.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. You know what? Honestly, I look back at all of the time that and all of the stupid stuff I did, and I swear to you, this is going to sound dumb to a lot of people, but I regret the times that I spent in nightclubs more than I regret the banks I robbed. For real. It was just a terror. I'm not joking. I went to nightclubs, and it just, I went there to do drugs, and I mean, I never did anything good. It's not like I ever went to a nightclub and I left and went, that was wholesome American fun right there. No, I was doing dope, and it was just all bad. It really was. It was all bad. All bad.
Do they really, or do they really look like how they do in movies?
Yeah. No. People everywhere.
Like are people?
What? Sorry.
Okay, and clearly it's been since the 80s that you were in one, because
that's not the 80s.
Pretty sure that's not the music they're playing, babe. Pretty sure.
No, but I will tell you this, right? Because there are some people here of a particular age. And I can tell you this, and I'm not joking, for about 4 years, every single time I walked into a nightclub, that song was on. Not lying. Not lying.
That was the era of like 1984 when I was born, probably then, right? Because you're considerably older than me.
No, you were in like second grade. Yeah, you were in second grade.
I like that.
See, Johnny backs me up on this thing.
It strangely turns me on. It turns me on. Hey, we will save that for another show. Hey, seriously though, are they just like for dancing? I feel like I need to go to one just to see if I still got it. Like, would people hit on me?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, they would. But we're not going to let you go to one, so it wouldn't be a problem. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're still in the power band. Me, not so much. Merry Christmas, Reese and Tommy. I can't stay. Just wanted to say hello and love you. Michelle, thank you so much.
I love Michelle Asbell. Merry Christmas to you, babe.
I love that. Merry Christmas. That is so kind. No, they're not all that. You know what? Help me on this. They used to play that song at La Bear in Dallas. Oh my God. When were you going to La Bear in Dallas, Meredith Lynn?
Meredith Lynn is hot. I don't know.
Did you ever meet anybody named Jake while going to La Bear in Dallas?
She better not have.
Kidding.
I've seen those moves. All we need is a chair and some 80s music, and Tommy really gets going.
That's it. No, for real. Put on stuff that everyone else has forgotten about. I'm sorry, Squirrel, but you haven't come to work in so long. I thought I could put things in your basket. Lazy animal.
I love to hear that, and I love the topic. So you had a nice holiday, you said?
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. I had a very nice holiday.
What are you doing for New Year's?
You know what? It's funny that you asked that. I'm going to be having a New Year's gathering of about hopefully 5,000 or 6,000 of my closest friends. CNC Music Factory. What's that?
I think it's be more than that. Sweet Liberty, thank you. Yesterday's show was absolutely touching for me as well. Look, it's Angie Moe.
You know something? I've watched that show, and I don't do that. But so many people emailed me and said, you really need to see that I went and did, and it was beautiful.
You did? You didn't tell me that. Oh,
God, Meredith Lynn. All right. That's, I've never been to Dallas. Merry Christmas, you two love birds and the rest of the crew. Thank you, Angie Mo. It's awesome.
I love Angie Mo. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Angie. Sorry, again, I was trying to get a date for New Year's Eve. What do you,
funny that you said
I would ask you first.
So, I'm planning on, doing a little gathering of my closest friends and doing a meeting on relatable Reese. And you see this thing right here? Right? Do away with this little
Not
black bar.
here or here so much.
Yeah.
But right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
This thing that goes down the middle, I want it gone. So I'm going to come to Bug Tussle.
What do you got? What are you thinking, mister?
I'm on my way. Yeah, no, for real. I am on my way. I am on my way.
I like the idea of that.
I know what you're thinking.
I hope that you dial up the flirt.
Laura Lou, I will probably march Reese in and out of a nightclub. We'll do a little 10-minute tour. I'm open to hooking her up with any kind of anything that she missed. That's important to me, but it's not going to be a really long one. Yeah, Grandmaster Flash and the message, broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage, and you just don't care. I know every word to that. How's that for a white boy? True story.
Thank you, Kristen Melinda.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. You got to be kidding! See, this is an old crew. They all know Grandmaster Flash's message.
Babe, quit scaring us for a minute. Kristen Melinda, that's very kind. Kim, he lives in Arizona. I live in Tennessee.
Yes, although we've been.
Thank you, Cindy Schweitzer.
Yeah, well, you know something, I can appreciate that. How about
Alina,
the stamp?
I love you.
The spinners. I don't. I don't dislike the stamp Peters or the spinners, but I don't know that I know a ton of their work.
I love the spinners, Kim. I grew up on the spinners. I love the spinners. I love the stylistics. Little Motown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You knew it. You knew it well. Little blood, sweat, and tears.
I like blood, sweat, and tears. Quibbs has actually got a very diverse musical taste, and we have a pretty good time. No, I'm going to Bug Tussle. Do me a favor, Wrench, and knock that out, would you?
I think honestly, it's coming from a nice place.
Yeah, but it's got to stop because it's not a good thing.
Stop. I agree, but I don't think he's doing it.
I just want the message removed. That's all.
Couldn't agree with you more, babe, because it's not a holiday message.
Yeah,
that's not a message of Christmas. Christmas messages only.
Yeah, please.
Just Joan, thank you, girl.
25624 Chicago. Well played.
Well played. Even though I'm only 27, I do have good taste in music.
Huh? I'm sorry, the cat said something.
I love the spinner. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's cute too. She's starting to like me.
She is. I was blown away at how the squirrel nut zipper took to the quibs there.
Thank you, Wilford Harry. I don't know what that means.
But, I love that. Yeah. The time.
Yeah, Mark.
But I'm moving on. Who was that?
Song. Mark Hardman. That's Blondie, babe.
Blondie. Thank you. Sorry, I was going through the. What's that?
Mark Hardman. Yes, The Temptations. Absolutely.
Thank you, Kathy. Right? What a kind thing to say. Yeah, what a kind thing to say. So.
Thank you, Kathy.
I promise I'm not burying the lead. I'm going to tell you exactly what was going on with how Diddy did his Christmas, but I'll do it in about 15 minutes. So if I'm killing you, you can always double back. But I want to spend a little time with the family here. A lot of us have been together for so long. A great number of the crew here last year were around for New Year's. If you've never seen the New Year's show that Quibs and I did together, and that was on your on Relatable Reese. Real Table Reese. If you've not seen the Relatable Reese New Year's show, you're going to want to catch that before this year's New Year's show. It's kind of essential. Hey, Tony Suter. I have a confession to make. Yes, I love Tower of Power. I was wildly in love with the girls of the Go-Go's. I'm sorry. It was an early crush. It really was.
Okay. Are you serious? I thought you were going to say something really hot about your current girlfriend or like our show last year. That's where you went with that? I got all excited.
Kestrel hooked. It was a soft pitch.
I had goosies, and then you had to go there.
Well, so let me get back to what I was saying. I am on my way to Bug Tussle to profess my my undying love to Quibs on a New Year's Live on account of the fact that last year's New Year's Live was when the two of us really kind of caught the spark. I love Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Yeah.
Gotta love Joan Jett.
I was kind of hoping you weren't going to read that. I know your Joan Jett crush. Honey, back to me.
It's not a crush.
It's Christmas.
She's a brunette. It's not a crush. I love her music. You know how I am about blondes.
That's not what you said in the car one day on the way to the UPS store.
What?
Oh, yeah. No, I remember it. I was there. I keep receipts, screenshots, memories. Okay.
Do you hear yourself?
You told me a whole story about Joan Jett. Don't get me started on it. Now back to me. It's Christmas. Oh, I love the Pretenders, Mary Barons. I love the Pretenders.
How about AC/DC and Leonard Skinner? Good call, Kim. You got to love AC/DC and Leonard Skinner. Yeah. You really do.
Okay.
Sweet Liberty, knock that off. Daughter of the King, good to see you. Glad you're here. Where's everybody watching? Oh, I love it. Johnny came in to try to bail me out because he's a nice dude. He said, "You need to stop. She's going to kill you."
That's not what he said.
I'm kidding. The Talking Heads, one of the best shows I ever saw was the Talking Heads. Great show. Eurythmics. See, this is good 80s stuff right here. Molly Hatchet. Love it. Do you know, no joke, Molly Hatchet is on tour right now, and they're coming to Arizona. True story. I heard it the other day and went, there's no way. But yeah, they really are.
I don't know who that is, but I do love Queen. Yes. Kansas, not so much. I don't know Angie Mo.
You don't like Kansas?
Stevie Nicks. Well, I only know that one song. It's like they sang one song. Oh, it's like Montana. Only one person lives in Montana.
More than one song. They
same thing as Kansas.
Absolutely did more than one song. But if that's the one song, you're good. Like you don't need another song, right? And it was an old school.
They're a one-hit wonder band. I love Fleetwood Mac.
Echo and the Bunnymen. I remember Echo and the Bunnymen. Yeah. Boston. Did Boston have one bad song on an album? They did not. Don't.
Again.
Yeah, carry on my wayward son.
Was it that good, or is it's just one of those things that we just all heard? I don't know that it was that talented.
Pretty solid. Frank Zappa. I saw Zappa in concert. And I remember looking at the dude next to me and saying, "Is this the drugs?" And he's like, "No, it's a very strange concert."
I've had better.
I've had better. Sorry. Oh, Peter Gabriel's great.
Yeah, he is. I like Peter Gabriel.
How
about a little Outfield?
What? Oh, I love the Outfield. Josie's on a vacation far. Oh, everything in the 80s. Let's be really honest. There was not a bad song that came out of the 80s. I defy you to give me one bad song that came out of the 80s.
Okay, I'd like to volunteer.
You're not allowed to play because I know what you're going to say.
Yes, I am.
You're not allowed to play.
Yes, I am.
You can come in at the end.
Abracadabra. Burning flames. There's 2 lyrics to that song. That's it. Burning flames. And then he repeats himself. Burning flames. We drove in our car to that, and I forced you to listen to it. He was like, "No, they don't." All he says, well, he's creepy. He says, "I want to reach out and grab you." That's not creepy.
Eddie Rabbit. Awesome. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Change the subject.
She goes, oh, and he wants to reach out and grab you. Nice. Okay.
That's all right, not creepy.
See, Be Happy loves Abracadabra. You just had to be of a certain time, and you would
just real quick. Burning flames. That's all he says.
It's not all.
It's on a loop. It's on a loop.
Wait a sec. Did I just see somebody say Delbert McClinton? No, I love Delbert McClinton. He had some great songs. I caught a ride into South Dakota with 2 girls in a light blue DeSoto. Isn't that Delbert McClinton? One's name was Jane, the other was Plain, but they both had race and motives. Yeah, that's Delbert McClinton. Ricky, you're so fine. Okay.
Really?
All right. No, Love Shack.
I know. I like Love Shack.
Tin Roof Rusted. Come on, that's a great song.
I could get down to that song. I like ELO as well.
Bad songs by Lionel Richie. Yeah, I kind of like Lionel Richie. I'm sadly really into soft rock. I admit it. Rock Lobster. See, another great one.
I love Rock Lobster.
Merry Christmas, Tommy and Reese. Just jumping in to say Merry Christmas. Catch you on the replay crew. I love that.
Baby steps. I love you, girl. CCR. Yes.
Oh, Electric Light Orchestra. Now, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Now, pay attention, everybody. Hold on. Pay attention, everybody. I will say nothing. If you happen to be of the male species, can you weigh in on this song for me? If you're a guy, just tell me what you think. I'm saying nothing. Yeah, I do love ELO. Great band. One of my favorites. Oh,
yeah,
Johnny
I love Mr.
Cash.
Blue Sky.
Johnny Cash would have been.
What are you doing with this song? Walk Like an Angel. What about it? What are you trying to get at?
What? Yeah, what do you mean?
Give us a hint, babe. What are you doing?
The video of that song drove an entire generation of men completely insane. I'm not one of them, mind you. But
is this like a Robert Palmer video? What are you getting at? Is it a bunch of naked women? What are you doing?
No. Susanna Hoff crush. I'm not. A lot of the world had a crush on Susanna Hoff. Men of a certain age kind of had that. I'm not one of them. That's why I backed out and I gave a chance for any guy that said that, but I'm not one of them. Love Gordon Lightfoot. Love Gordon Lightfoot.
Now I need to watch this video.
Walk like an Egyptian. I got a really funny REO Speedwagon story. Hello, Noah. Really funny story. I saw they were interviewing them. I think they were being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they said that they were getting ready to go on stage at Madison Square Garden. And they were high-fiving themselves for they sold out Madison Square Garden. They were, as big a deal as you're ever going to be. He said, and there was a knock on the door from the pizza guy. And he goes, "We got 4 pizzas here for an Oreo speed wobble." And he looked over and goes, "Yeah, we're killing it."
That's pretty hilarious.
I thought it's so funny to hear him tell the story. I got 4 pizzas for an Oreo speed wobble.
I love Bowie. I saw Kim said Black Velvet. Do you know that song?
I do. I do know the song.
I thought you might. I remember a fun Friday night including that song.
Yep. I know that song. I know it well. Meatloaf.
Heart.
Yes. Love Meatloaf. Yeah, Heart's fantastic. You could never understand Rush. Are you a woman? Right? Because most women can't. I don't know if you go to a Rush concert and there's usually
Is Rush the one that I thought was a woman singing?
Yes. Geddy Lee. She
Closer
says to me
to
one
the heart.
day, we're driving in the car and she looks over and goes, "I love this woman's voice."
We're all singing Closer to the Heart. And I said, I love her voice. Look at how high she is.
Voice. And I went, that's a man. And she's like, "No, it's not." And I go, no, that's a man. And arguing. I had to take the phone out. I'm like, "Hold on, I'll get the phone." And I started going through it. And once I got a picture out there of Geddy Lee, she was like, "No way." Yeah, Pink Floyd, you can't go wrong.
I love Pink Floyd. I felt bad.
Kim says, "I can't stand him," and he is a Canadian. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
The Doobie Brothers are great. You want to hear something really funny? I was about to say my first arrest, but it might have been my second arrest. Was me trying to get into a Doobie Brothers concert. I was climbing a fence trying to get in, and I ate crap and fell and landed on my side. And cop walked up and said, "Are you all right?" I went, "Yeah." Couldn't breathe. He's like, "Well, when you get your breath back, stand up and put your hands behind your back." It is what it is.
That's sad.
It is. It was sad.
Just
on the bright side, they took me to the back. No, it was funny because there was 3 of us, and they took all of us to the back, and they filled out paperwork. And then the guy, and I was waiting to go to jail. I get lugged off, and he's like, "No, we just process you and you go home, but you got to come back to court." I wasn't even in the state I lived in. And so as we're walking off, he goes, "You guys want to go to the concert? I mean, you already paid." And they let us in. I was like, hell, And I think I'm still expected to go to court on that. That was 1984.
That's kind of cute, babe. Thinking of you as this cute little criminal.
You've seen the picture of me.
A big criminal. I know. It's just adorable to think of you when you were just a little guy, just committing little crimes before you were a true felon.
Right before I went nuts. Bob Seger, love him. Love Bob Seger.
I saw him
Let's
in
have a
concert.
single spin night. I love that.
What's a single spin night mean?
I assume he means spinning singles, as in 45s, not 78s. No, no, nothing about no LP, do you, Junior? That's because records were disappearing right around the time you were born.
Wait,
She's got
though,
that
what is, I
Anna
still don't
Nicole thing going
understand.
on.
Hey,
What?
I still don't
Singles.
understand.
They used to release records in multiple sizes. One would have been an album
Oh,
as a 78 or an LP as in long play. And then they had 45. They're about this big. And in the middle of them, you had to have this super cool little plastic thing that you would jam into the inside of it, right? Or you took those off and then you could stack like 9 or 10 of them onto your little what do they call it? It was an adapter, and it would drop one right after the other. So then you could stack and play everything that you wanted. Yeah, it was
I
a little
took that
slice
way
of
wrong. I thought he meant like like we match make people, like a singles night.
What?
That's way more in my wheelhouse. I don't understand anything about anything before 1984.
Thank you so much, by the way, for the super chat. 45s and the little yellow thingy in the middle. I know so many people. Eddie Grant. I got an Eddie Grant story sometime too. But I gotta have my brother here to tell the Eddie Grant story. But we met him on a vacation. The LP was a 33. I thought the
Joe Mama.
not 7. They were 33s. Okay, I stand corrected. It's been a long time since I ripped off the Columbia Record and Tape Club. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think I currently own about $4 million. I don't know if you guys did that hustle too growing up, but damn. So Quibs, they had this thing where you could get 15 and sometimes 20 or 25 records for a penny. A penny.
Back in like the early 1800s? What do you mean?
You knocked that off. And then after that, you committed to buy X number of albums per month for, I don't know, the rest of your life. And the hustle was very few people ever bought the records afterwards, but you went into debt with them immediately. But because we weren't very good boys, what we would do is we would have the stuff sent to like the neighbor down the street because no one actually lived there. So you would just fill out all the stuff and he only vacationed and they would bring it to his house and then you change the name and you do it over again. And we eventually got caught. And I'm not joking. I think I owe him $4 or $5 million. It was pretty rugged. But boy, you want to come up on a really vicious collection of vinyl fast. BMG Music Group, same thing, different, tomato. It was just a different people doing the same thing. The Grateful Dead. That's not music though. That's bigger than that. I have a tattoo,
Oh, I know you do. It's close to my favorite.
Yeah.
Friend.
How about that?
What a fun chat. Unfortunately, I can't hang because I was born in 84 and I wasn't around when candy bars cost a nickel, Grandpa.
I don't remember candy bars costing a nickel, smart Alec.
Well, you just said you could buy 10 records for a penny, so I'm assuming.
Well, no, but see, this was a hustle. What they were doing was they were tricking you into having to buy a ton. It sounded great, man. It sounded great. But what happens is you then have to continually buy records forever. Never cost a nickel. See, your mama says never.
Kim, listen, you little embryo.
Yeah, not too far off, for real. And you know what's worse, right? Here's what's worse. Number one, I'm a lot older than my girlfriend, right? But number two, for whatever the hell reason, she does not have an wrinkle, right? Not one. Anywhere. Not a wrinkle, and wrinkle anywhere. Nothing.
It's
not
uncomfortable. It's weird.
Not even if attacked by a serial killer. Now, this has been tested multiple times. You know what I mean? Like people go like this, right?
Yeah, multiple
times.
Hey,
Anna, good to see you. Now, are you ready?
Uncomfortable for everyone. I'm ready.
On 3, 1, 2. Yeah.
Nothing.
See, flat. I do that. It's like looks like a roadmap. He's
into
I have a bazillion CDs. I play them on my laptop. I love anything that you can put your hands on. Like I don't like digital music as much.
Oh,
Perv.
I get it.
Perv. It's not where I was going with that. I
Sorry, I
remember
was.
gas and cigarettes were 50 cents. I do remember 50-cent gas. But the first pack of cigarettes I bought was 94 cents. And I thought I was so
Seriously?
slick. Yeah, I thought I was so slick. I walked into a store, right? And I'm underage. I know I'm breaking the rules and all that. And I lived in a teeny town, but I'm like, I had gone in 10 times and the guy never went, hey, aren't you Moose's kid? Or one of those things. I never had to worry about it. So I thought, I'm good. And the first time I went in to buy smokes, I was like, okay, a pack of Camel
I
Lights.
love it when you tell your baby Crim stories. Back when you were just a baby Crim.
Yes.
Hims was
And,
just a little Crim before he was a full-time
and then he
Crim.
looked down at me and he went, yeah, your dad was in here about 15 minutes ago.
That is so cute.
But he sold it to me anyway. So
Just a frightened little baby criminal. I just think that's
was.
touching and adorable.
I was. It was the early days of crimming.
That's so cute, babe. That's so cute. Speaking of crims, I feel bad. We're talking about not the title of your video. Did you want me out of here for that, by the way?
No, you can stick around for it. In fact, your questions with that are usually pretty fun.
Okay.
Do you remember gasoline when it was 25 cents per gallon for the mini bike? Oh yeah, that's good times, man. Smoking in the boys' room. We had to wait in the line for gas. Yeah, I remember having to do that. The last digit of your license plate, if it was odd or even, right? It's nuts.
Babe, I have to say, I'm strangely turned on when you say that you paid 94 cents for a pack of smokes because it makes me think of the older men that I like. I feel like
the
kind of more in that
guys,
category.
the people that you dated prior to me remember paying a nickel for a pack of smokes.
And that's
in fact, they remember when you had to roll your own. They remember when it first started coming in a pack and they were like, holy hell, is this convenient?
That's hot. Please keep going.
You need psychiatric care. You're so lucky that I saved you. You know what I mean? You were liable to marry somebody 110 years old if I hadn't come along. You're a very lucky person.
Why do you think they call me Anna Nicole, babe? It's not for fun.
No. In fact, I think I started that, didn't I?
It's not my first old rodeo.
Uh-oh. If the Admiral pulls a Werther's original out of his pocket.
Yes. Get yourself a hard candy. Kristen Melinda, somebody mail him some Werther's, please. Yes. I also like when they pull out those hard strawberry candies from the 70s with the kind of gooey middle.
Yes. Yes, yeah. I'm familiar with these. I'm absolutely familiar with these.
I love that.
You remember the gas crisis? Absolutely. And you know what's funny is we lived in the sticks. Like we lived in this really, really small town. And there weren't any gas lines where we were. But we saw it on TV every day. And if you pulled up to the gas station and there was actually a car that you had to wait for them to fill up, everybody would joke that there were gas lines. But in cities, it was really, really bad.
Speaking of old men, did you notice? So we got together a year ago, except for that pesky marriage situation. But we got together a year ago. Did you notice I was less attracted to you then because you dyed your beard? And I was like, look, if we're going to do this and go full in, you're going to have to quit doing that because you look about 35 and it's grossing me out. And now you have this beautiful salt and pepper blend that just makes me want to get all over it. You look so much better, babe.
Thank you. What a sweet thing to say.
Never again are you dyeing that thing. Your handlebars were terrifying. You looked like a real criminal. Now you just look like an you look like a retired crim. You look just like you should.
That's right.
And
exactly. A slightly rehabilitated crim.
You're welcome.
You're not going to believe this. A pack of cigarettes in Australia are $50. Good God, man. I have a brown paper bag guy and get a pack for $16. Good God in heaven. $50 a pack? Mm-hmm. You know what's insane? Really? Like my crim days are over, but the first thing I thought was, how much a pack? So if I were to fill up
no.
I know.
You're retired.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Your American cigarettes are nasty. No, they are, Kim. Kim, are you where are you in the world? Because I got around. There's a decent chance I smoked your cigarettes. I'd be curious to know what you're smoking. Are you smoking export A's? What part of the world are you in? out of curiosity.
Who still smokes? It's such a vintage habit. Every time I see somebody smoking, I'm like, wow, people still
Don't
smoke.
we do that? We do it all the time. It's not a
Retro.
mock anything. It's never like that either. It's like a holy crap. It's a smoker.
Wow. Yeah.
You're
So
in
vintage.
Canada. So what were you smoking in Canada? That's what I used to smoke when I would go to Canada. I'd buy Export A's. That was my go-to smoke up there. Players. Yep, there you go. Players. And you want to hear a junior crim story? I'll let you one up. This will make you happy. So when I was in college, the first time I went to Montreal, I was staying a place called St. Catherine Street for you Canadians. I was on St. Catherine Street in Montreal, which is a fun place if you're 18 years old. And I went out to buy a pack of cigarettes, and this was in 1770, and up there it was like $7 or $6 for a pack of cigarettes back then. It was so much money, it was crazy. And that was for the local. We were dumb enough to ask for American smokes, and they were even more expensive. So we had a great idea, and we thought the next time we come up, we'll just fill the trunk with cartons of cigarettes, because they got to be good for trading for anything up there. And the guy that owned the little bed and breakfast style hotel that we used to stay in, which was creepier than any place you could imagine, they had ceramic clowns throughout this entire place. Yeah, lovely.
Took a really dark turn. Please keep
Took
going.
a dark turn. And the first time I was in there, I was on mushrooms. It was awful. Anyway, but it got to a point where we were going up. At first, we just wanted to have a free hotel room, but then it got to a point where it was quite profitable, and we did quite a lot of it.
That had a lot of twists and turns.
I'll be honest. That's not what we were doing on St. Catherine Street. We were not. We weren't shopping. Yeah, we were.
What were you doing?
There was a dance club there back then called Club Super Sex.
Forget it.
Honestly,
I don't want to do this.
Okay, saddle. Elizabeth Grundy says we can get cartons on the reservation for $33. Yeah, that's right. No tax. That was what back when I still smoked. I would buy from a they called Reno Indian Smoke Shop, and it was always about half of the price. Drinking and going to bars, and we could go and drink at 18. The drinking age there didn't matter. So we spent a lot of time. It was a short drive from where I went to college to
just a little rookie crim.
We went every weekend until eventually your country decided that they didn't like me anymore. My feelings have been hurt since.
Wow.
You quit back in 2002. Well, that's worth a
good for you.
Well done. The official participation trophy of the Lifeboat.
Good for you, Kim.
Yeah, well played. Well played. I bet everything tastes a hell of a lot better, doesn't it? I bet it does.
I loved smoking. Personally, I loved smoking.
Yeah?
Yeah, I miss it. It was a real stress reliever. I smoked menthols.
Now that the weed is legal in most of America, it's gotten really cheap. You'd be really surprised at how dirt cheap it is now. I have to buy my gummies in dispensaries, so we go in there all the time, and I look up on the board at the prices of the stuff, like the house blends or whatever they call it. Like not the, I guess they grow it themselves or whatever, but they call it the house blends, and it's like $50 or $60 an ounce, which God, I used to pay a lot more than that, man. Menthols were the last resort. I agree. I know people go off and there's big arguments and debates about vape pens versus cigarettes. Anything that you light on fire and breathe into your lungs, if there's an option B, go with that one. I promise. Heat alone, your lungs are not really fond of heat. So if you're breathing anything that's burning on fire into your lungs, it's not such a great idea. So
doesn't seem like it.
So, Kitten, the rumor mill that has been going around is they like to go on these bigger shows and talk about how Diddy is living the good life, right, in there. And they say, do you know what he ate today? That man got turkey. And they make it sound like somehow he got a meal that nobody else in the Bureau of Prisons got. What Diddy ate today, right? 180,000 other people ate. He got nothing. today that 180,000 other people didn't get. However, if you say it right, it sounds like he had this big, scrumptious Christmas dinner. And I promise you, people, it doesn't go down like that at all. I mean, they make an effort. It's the once or twice a year, they will make an effort.
Can I ask you something? How do you know that, though? Like, how do you know that he's not getting special
treatment? Yeah, or food?
Yeah.
Okay. One is there are places that's a very easy thing to do, right? State joints, the feds. I've been around a lot of people that were really wealthy. I've been around a lot of people that were really connected, and mafia dudes, literally heads of crime families. They don't give a shit. Like everybody inside the feds is a dirtbag. Like you're not getting any kind of special treatment, and they make a big deal that guys are in line to make his bed. That's a hustle, right? There are guys in there that have no money, and they will walk around and say, "Hey, man, I'll make your bed, clean your cell, do all of that crap for $20 a week or for $10 a week." And if you have nobody on the street, $20 a week is life-changing money inside. These guys aren't lining up to do this. It's just, I did it. I paid people all the time because it's a lot easier than doing it yourself. I had a poker table. So I got up in the morning, ran the poker table, and let people take care of all of that crap. Cornish hen for lunch and then PB&J for dinner. That's absolutely the truth. That was what was on the menu today. James Collins cares. I'm shocked. Club Super Sex burned down. Goodness.
Because I remember you telling me once in prison that they got, for Christmas, you guys got like a special.
Yeah, they make an effort. They absolutely make an effort. Usually it's either Cornish game hen is a lot. That happens a lot. Probably I would say half of the years I was incarcerated. So maybe 6 of them in the feds. I got Cornish game hen. The other times we would have turkey.
Let me ask you this. Does anybody get any special meal? No. So that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
I mean, you can work a hustle. And what I mean by that is, like, there are guys who will say, I have a special diet and I can't eat any of these things. And then you can get some prepackaged foods that come in and you eat differently than everybody else is. But basically, you're eating microwave meals and you got no control over what those microwave meals are going to be. And I used to buy them, and whatever's cheap. Like if they're running a special and the stuff sucks, we're buying it because we buy the cheapest of the cheap.
But because he has so much money, he's not able to buy his way into like a better. Wow.
Nope. Not. Who else didn't? Jeffrey Epstein didn't get any kind of special. Is Luigi in Diddy's unit? He would have to be, right? He would have to be, at least in that wing. He's way too high profile to be anywhere else. So that doesn't mean that. I mean, the way that these things are set up, they could be in the same unit and then not have any contact with one another because these things are kind of done in like small dorm kind of settings. So he's in protective custody and he's in the high risk protective custody. But I doubt the two of them are hanging out. But he's definitely going to be in that unit. Go ahead, kid.
Well, and I was thinking too, I've asked you a lot of these questions. Hey, Bill Herrera, I've asked you a lot of these questions behind the scenes. Like, you can say you're vegetarian, obviously, and you get a vegetarian meal. And you said like a vegetarian meal is a lot of peanut butter, right?
If you're eating vegetarian, they have to provide you with X number of grams of protein a day. So when they remove the meat, they're going to go for the cheapest way to get you protein. And they give you these little packets of peanut butter that are 4 ounces each, right? And you get bread. And they give you those a couple of times a day. So you're honestly getting pretty close to a pound of peanut butter a day. They really peanut butter the hell out of you. And then on Wednesdays, you get a fake a fake burger patty. And then on Thursdays, you get a fake chicken patty. And that's usually how it goes. I used to order all that stuff too. I heard a crazy conspiracy the other day that Luigi's ultimate plan was to get in there to hit Diddy. Well, that's a good one.
And babe, I'm sure you've talked about this, but I have a question as far as, is he doing everything like the rest of the inmates or is he like in solitary?
No, he's kind of in a dorm living right now. So he's not in solitary, but the vast majority of every day that he's there, he's getting pulled out and he's going into what they call an MP room. And an MP is multiple purpose. So if a chaplain has to come up and talk to you, he'll talk to you in the MP room. If the FBI comes up to interrogate you, they're going to do it in the MP room. And if you're going to meet with your attorneys, they'll put you in the MP room. And you can go in there. There's glass out the wazoo. They can't hear you. They do a really good job of making it difficult to hear what people are saying inside, but they can see you, right? So because they don't want you, a lot of times people will develop relationships with their attorneys. It happens. They don't want you in there alone, you know?
And I get it. And Shannon, see, that's not a stupid question. I was wondering that too. Can he buy more food, like at a vending machine?
No, absolutely. He can buy more food. And it's not a stupid question. It's actually a very, very good question. He can buy more food. However, he's limited to the amount of food that he can buy because of where he's at. Now, if he was on a proper prison yard, because this is actually a county jail for all intents and purposes, it's a federal county jail, but this is where you go while you're waiting to go to prison or waiting to go to trial. So there is a commissary, but on the real prison yard, the commissary list would be about 4 times the size of this one. But nevertheless, he can buy as much top ramen as he wants. He can buy oatmeal. He can buy cereal. He can buy peanut butter. He can buy tuna. He can buy a lot of different things.
Well, I was going to ask you that. So he can do that. Do people often gain weight in prison because of that? Like ramen, obviously, is going to make you all that sodium. Do people like bloat up, or do they get like super ripped? Do they lose weight? How does that work?
I would say that the about 15 to 20% would be my guess of people that get a very sedentary lifestyle and start eating a lot of stuff out of the commissary. And this stuff is really, really, it's very starchy. It's very high in calories. It's designed not to keep you thin, I promise. And then a lot of the other people will go an opposite direction, and they will buy fish like mackerel, stuff that's ridiculously high in protein and really, really low in carbs, and they will rip up, right? They will get 6-packs. You'll see guys in their 50s and 60s that, have stomachs that look like they're in their 20s and 30s.
Ooh. I saw a good question. Can he join a gang?
He would have a very difficult time joining a white gang, right? And I'm not being facetious. What I mean by that is I can't tell you how I could probably speak for about 3 of those, how those black gangs run, but some of them I couldn't. Is there a possibility there? Yeah, maybe. But my experience is this. The only way you get away with joining a gang with the kind of paperwork that he's going to have is if you say you're going to become a Muslim, right? Because there are Muslim gangs and there are certain other kinds of religious gangs in there where they will say anything you did before you became one of us, that's all forgiven, right? That doesn't matter. So you'll even see people that have, bad paperwork. Like they'll forgive people that are women and stuff, but most will not. And I don't see that happening. I think that I would be surprised if that happened.
I have 2 questions. One
Sure.
was Blessed to Crochet Mary's. She said, and I thought that was a good question, what prison had the best food that you were in?
FCI Tucson.
Aren't they all pretty much the same?
They're all the same menu. The menu is the same in every single, even what Diddy's eating, they're eating in California, they're eating in Texas, that every single prison eats the exact same thing. But some cook it a whole hell of a lot better, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, some put a lot more effort in. So when I was at FCI Tucson, the guy they hired to be the food director, the guy that's supposed to run the kitchen, he was a chef. Like he was a no joke chef, and this is a job he took. And he was damn good. Like he really was good at what he did. But most of them, they don't care. They don't.
Right. Okay. I wondered that. That was a good question, Mary.
I
have a weird question, babe. Again, guys, I never talked to Tommy about this stuff, so I'm way behind. But like when we were together last week, we had plenty of time on our hands. I was chatting with him, and I like to ask him prison questions sometimes too. And I was asking him about the purpose of, and if every prison had, and I thought this was so interesting, a shot caller. And the shot caller is like Tony Soprano. It's the head dude. And he said every prison has one, and female prisons do too, you said.
Yep.
And my question is, would Diddy have met the shot caller by now? Like, would he have come across this dude?
So where he's at
There's
is
a
really,
white one and a black one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he's at is really unique because, so just real quickly, Shannon C., Danny Masterson is in a state prison in California, not a federal prison. I'm referring to the federal system where everybody is on the same menu. Each state is different and does their stuff differently, so he wouldn't have had the same stuff. But
is Diddy in federal?
Diddy is right now sitting in a federal holding facility, but again, because he's in a holding facility waiting to go to trial, so no one's going to be there for 10 years. So shot callers don't last long because you're going to be in and out of there. These guys are just waiting to go to trial, and you can't join a gang in a jail. You can't even join a gang at an FCI. You have to be at a penitentiary, right? So at that place, you end up with what they call pod bosses. And it's the same thing, but it's not. Every single pod, because you're not getting out to the whole place, there won't be a shot caller for the whole MDC Brooklyn, but every one of those little pods will have one dude in there that takes the reins and says, "This is my unit. How did you get here? Let me see your paperwork." There's always one guy that kind of becomes the pod boss. So, and yeah, he would have met his. However, because he's in protective custody, you're not going to say to somebody, "What did you do to get in here?" Because everybody did something messed up to get in there, or they wouldn't be in protective custody. So for him, it's a little different. Kind of all bets are off on that kind of thing. Thoughts and prayers for your family, Sarah Bowman.
Most definitely, Sarah Bowman. I love you, girl.
Yeah.
You also told me, though, that people like Diddy are treated horribly, obviously, who mistreat women and especially children.
Yes.
So he's probably not popular. Is he just because he's a celeb?
Well, he's in it. So the unit he's in right now, everybody else is also kind of a celeb. And always, all of them for bad reasons. He is in. So each facility has something that they call PC, protective custody. These are for people that hurt kids, hurt women, right? Had messed up crimes. And he's in PC. And in PC, again, they're a lot more tolerant because they're pieces of crap. But once he leaves there and goes to a prison, he's going to be in with bank robbers, and he's going to be in with all kinds of people that don't have messed up crimes. And then they don't want to be near you, right? So he's kind of in a little protected bubble of sorts right now.
But once he gets to that place and he's near all the people that don't want to be near him, will those guys make like a special exception because he's Diddy and like they grew up listening to him and he's some big celeb and be like, "You were cool. I always liked you"? No.
Now he can pay for it. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. The problem is this. Let's say, he's on a yard, and on that yard of 450 black dudes and, 400 white guys and, 200 Mexican cats and natives. Of those 400 blacks, these guys are going to say, Diddy's going to say, "Well, I'm paying off the shot caller." The 4 guys directly below the shot caller who work with him tight are going to say, "Well, why aren't you paying me off?" And the next thing you know, every guy on that yard is going, "Hey, I want to get paid." And at some point, they got to draw a line and go, "Nah, he's not. His rent's paid. No one else is getting paid." Well, if you're 6'4", 270 pounds, and on the "you're not getting paid" list, you're not going to be really happy that you're in there with a guy that hurt kids. You know what I mean? So you can get away with it for a period of time, right? Because they got money. They can get away with it for a period of time. But someone's going to come in and go, "I would just as soon take this guy out."
When he does get to wherever he's going, won't he be in like solitary?
They can't do that. Sounds good, but they can't, right? Diddy is in MDC Brooklyn currently right now is where Diddy is, yeah. But when he gets...
hold on, honey. I'm sorry to interrupt you. And guys, I know that bothers you. I didn't mean to interrupt Tommy, but
you're good.
I don't want to lose my thought. Shannon C. Aren't like serial killers, like the BTK killer, aren't those people in like solitary? They're not just out in the open with people, are they?
In state places like where you're talking about, because serial killers don't go to federal prison very often, because murder is a state crime, not a federal crime, right? But in some of those state facilities, they separate those people not so much because of the fact that they need to be in solitary, but because they are mentally ill. Those people go in and they get a diagnosis that makes them call them away from the group and not let them be with other people. And that happens often with serial killers because just because you got in trouble and went to prison, you shouldn't have to have your life at risk, the person they're going to put you in with. So very often with people that are deemed that much of a risk to other inmates, they'll be kept in solitary for that reason. And that happens a lot with serial killers.
Okay.
Federal prisons are nicer and have pool tables. Well, they do have pool tables. But there's You can't have a television set. You can't have a weight pile. You can't have a Playboy magazine. There's a lot of things in the feds that in the state, people can buy a television in their cell. They can have video game systems. They can have nude magazines. And I'm not advocating for any of this crap. I'm just telling you that the difference. I did state time. And while I was in, everybody went, oh, man, don't you wish you were going to the feds? Man, the feds are so much nicer. And you just hear this constantly. And it's funny. Talk to anybody that's done state time and fed time and go, boy, wasn't that fed time nicer? No, it's not. I promise it's not. Now, if you go to Club Fed, go ahead.
You go ahead, honey. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, I was pretty much done at that point,
How do you guys play pool? Because I would think a pool cue is a weapon.
Well, you would never do that at a place like he's at now. That happens at when you go to a real yard. Yeah, they have pool tables, right? Even the penitentiaries have pool tables. And the fellas don't want to lose the ability to play pool. It's like weight piles. I mean, you kill a guy on a weight pile easier than anything. You got metal bars, you got weights, but you don't want to lose the weight pile. So if you get into a beef with somebody, if you were to do something out there, the fellas are going to kill you. When you lose that weight pile or you lose that pool table, you're a dead man. So, and it happens. Every once in a while it'll happen. And there are places where they started out with 6 pool tables. And a guy hits somebody with a pool cue, they take one table out. Right? Gets everybody's attention. Do it again, another table disappears. And what happens is you end up with a group of guys that kind of stand around and say, if things start getting wild, we're going to take this guy to the ground and beat the piss out of him before he swings a pool cue. He is behind the 8 ball. How does it play out for him? He has no play. And I'm just talking about this from a convict standpoint. The guy's got no play. The only thing he could do now, and he'd have to be intelligent enough to do it, and I'm sorry, but I don't think he is. What he would have to do is pull the plug. He'd have to go, all right, let's cut a deal. I'll give up everybody that did anything with me. I'll lay it all out. But if he did that, he's still got to be looking at probably 15 to 20 years. And I don't think he's got the ego to do 15 or 20 years. He's going to fight this to the death because he would rather, die and go broke penniless than do 5 years in prison, right? He's too much of he's been living like a pharaoh. Honestly, think of how he's been living. He takes whatever he wants. He doesn't get in trouble for anything. He could never do it. The guy couldn't do time.
I liked Kim's question. She said, did you have to watch your back in prison as much as they kind of show in documentaries?
No, you don't. You have to be situationally aware at all times because there are some weird people in there. But if you get stabbed in prison, with few exceptions, you put yourself in a position to get stabbed in prison. I'm the perfect. If you have a nut allergy, they got to get you something else. Boodakaboo. They've got special diets for people like that, and they will cater to that. I got stabbed on a yard by accident, right? Completely. They stabbed the wrong person, but the order was to go out and stab the old white guy with a cane that does a bunch of dope. If I hadn't been doing a bunch of dope, they'd have stabbed somebody else. You know what I mean? I was in the game. If you're not gambling, if you're not doing drugs, if you're not doing any of those things, yeah, you don't have a lot to worry about. But if you're out there and you're gambling and you're going to do it all, yeah, then it's hard. You're going to end up in the mix all the time. Hold on one second. I love a good Voldemort question because I don't like him. You know who Voldemort is there, kid? He's the other Sean.
You told me.
Yeah. Okay, good. Tommy, do you think now Voldemort is completely denying any association with Diddy? Yeah, well, here's the thing. I believe wholeheartedly he's pissed. And he's probably pissed enough to snitch. Trouble is, what's he going to do? Right? He's got to be willing to take the deal. And I'll tell you something. In the movies, you see the lawyer go in and they say, my guy could give up everything you want, right? He's going to give you this, 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 and this, but he's not going to do more than 3 years, right? And they go, okay, go back and tell him he's got to do 5 and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works in the feds. It's a pipe dream. In the feds, what you would have to do is write a proffer letter, right, to the government. And the proffer letter says, here's everything I can give you. I did this with this guy. I did this with this guy. I can prove that this happened. I was there when he did this. You lay it all out. And then they come back and go, okay, yeah, we'll cut a deal. Got to show them everything you got first. And they'll say, then you say to them, hey, how much time do I get off? I don't know. we'll let the judge decide. And when you go to court, this is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, why you would do this, right? Because you can get in there and have the judge go, thanks for helping us out. I'm going to drop one year off your sentence. And you hear these stories all the time. I'm sorry, but I think I'm so glad you're alive. We can laugh about it. What's that?
Buddha Kaboo said, "Is Voldemort the guy?"
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Take me down to a paradise city with a ghost. Sorry.
I have another question about the one you were answering before about the you don't have to watch your back all the time.
Uh-huh.
You're a lot more of an alpha male. Everybody knows this. I especially know this. In more ways than one, mister.
Giggity.
But if you're not, let's say you're the opposite of that. Let's say you're very, very fearful. Let's say you're weak. I would think you have to watch your back because the guys can smell that on you and they would take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is something to that. When you first get there, I mean, it's not always like if you have good paperwork, if you've done nothing wrong, let's say you don't have a bad crime and you've not really done anything that is offensive or foul. Let's say you're a bank robber, but you're a very quiet guy and you're reserved. If dudes start picking on you, if dudes start pushing up on you, other inmates are going to go and kill them. I promise. There is a convict code, and the convict code is you don't mess with people that have good paperwork. If their crime isn't offensive, then you just let them do their time, right? It's a hands-off thing. Just go do what you do, and they don't care. And it is really that way. However, if your paperwork's bad, all bets are off.
I would think a lot of guys get bullied. I mean, you get bullied in school. I would think you're going to get bullied in prison.
There's less of it than you would imagine. There really is. There's less of it than you would imagine. Yeah. I mean, again, providing you're not a dirtbag, and if you have good paperwork, people leave you alone. That there are enough people who did really foul stuff that there's enough time to just mess with them. Could Diddy buy a judge? How hard is that? Well, I can't answer that, but I think that it's one of the most dangerous propositions in the world, right? How do you approach a judge to buy them?
It could happen.
No, absolutely it could. But how do you make that happen? Because what you realize is this. You're going to go and ask somebody something that can land you in prison for a really, really long time. So when you reach out to approach this guy and you go up and you say, hey, $3 million or $5 million, right? We need you to throw this. The judge could go, you're going to prison. That's a risk. Who's going to go make that pitch?
Yeah, but he might have some ties. Like, I'm sure he's Diddy. He could have ties, right?
Nobody has ties to federal judges.
Really?
No, honestly, yeah. It's there isn't a long history of federal judges being bought off. It's not like this guy's a football player, right? He calls balls and strikes, but it's still going to be 12 people that are going to decide this case. A judge can be a dick and he can not rule when people object and do things of that nature. But in this case, this is going to be the most studied case in the history of the planet. It is. Right? Nothing has ever been bigger. This is going to be in every single law class from now until eternity. And every decision that this judge makes, they're going to be talking about and ruling on and going back over. I don't think he could get away with it without getting busted. Yeah, the cops, the COs, the corrections officers, it's a very hard job, and some of them are incredible people. Honest to God, I met some that were great people. They weren't all great people.
I just thought of that for movies. Like, how easy. Did you say Merry Christmas to your child?
Hey, kid. She loves me. She really does.
She's been eating a lot of treats.
We spent a lot of time together, me and kid. We did a 12-hour road trip once. Look at her.
A lot. Speaking of, I would think that it would be difficult to, let's say you accomplish this. This is just stuff we see in movies, but in real life, if you could buy a judge, Kate Murphy.
Oh, Kate. Thoughts and prayers.
I'm so sorry.
Me too, but run. Good call.
Thank you for sharing that, Kate. Definitely thoughts and prayers to Kate and Keith. Cat hair. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. And Merry Christmas. If you could buy a judge, how easy would that actually happen? Like, how, let's say it 5 million and the guy says yes. One, what if he gets caught? Where does the money go? Does he put that obviously like in an overseas pound?
This again, and this is why it starts stacking up for why no one would do it. Honestly, it would be such a difficult thing to do. The better question is, honestly, good call, Corvo. I didn't ask if he could buy a jury because I know that he bought the last one, allegedly. But he will be in prison until his next trial, correct? Absolutely. He's not going anywhere until this case is over. He's not going anywhere until this case is over. And I got news for you. It's going to be a hot minute before this case is over. They have scheduled it for Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. There's no way. There's no way. Jury nullification could happen, right? But for jury nullification to happen, they're going to have to go in there and go, yeah, this guy's guilty. But I think the only thing they're doing is picking on they're picking on him because he's black, or they're going after him for this. Jury nullification, the only times that those really seem to happen is when a father gets a hold of somebody that hurt his kid, right? Like touched his daughter, and the father kills the guy. When he goes into court, the jury goes, yeah, we're not convicting him. Screw you and your law. Like that kind of jury nullification seems to happen a lot. I don't see it I don't see it often in other ways, but that's the one that. Go ahead.
You don't think this guy's getting out, right?
Did he? No,
Yeah.
I do not. No, I do not. No.
Does he think so, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, he thinks he's getting out. And the reason he thinks he's getting out is because hope springs eternal in the mind of the idiot waiting to go to trial. And everybody surrounding him, right? Diddy hasn't been in and out of the system a million times. He's had some trouble, but he's in with people that have been in and out of the system a million times, right? And you know what they do? They do that jailhouse lawyer crap, right? So every time his lawyer leaves, one of those guys in there goes, oh man, they can't do that to you. All that evidence is going to get thrown out. That you kicking that girl, that ain't going to stick in there, man. That's going to get, and you get excited about it. And I did it. And you think, well, Diddy's got lawyers coming in all the time. I was engaged to one, and she would come in and I'd go, hey, I was talking to a guy, and she'd go, stop talking to guys, right? Nobody in here has any idea what they're talking about. Stop talking to guys. But Diddy, and he's sitting with lawyers, right? That he's paying tens of millions of dollars. They don't want to sit there and go, hey, you may end up getting a really huge sentence, right? I promise they're not having that conversation. With the amount of money that they're paying him, they're in there telling him, hey, they've already made mistakes that if this goes bad, we'll be ready to get him on appeal. Like this is, yeah.
So they're stringing him along, trying to oh my God.
Damn right there.
Helena had a good question. She said, do you think what if the jurors are like huge Diddy or Biggie and Tupac fans? Would that
could happen? Now there's a process called voir dire, and the voir dire process is where the lawyers ask questions of the jury, where they pick the jury, and you try to find stuff like that out. You try to get a feel for them, and they hire people that are masters in this, that are really, really good, at picking people and realizing what people are saying, and or looking. They'll impanel a jury that's going to nail them to the wall. They're very good at this. They got a 98.2% conviction rate.
When will this go to trial?
I said from the beginning that I thought that this would happen in like July or August, and I might have been wrong. I think it might even be a little bit farther out than that, but we're gonna see.
Will he stay in the same place until then?
Absolutely.
They won't move him around like they did you?
Nope. Until he is convicted, they can't move him. He has to stay in that facility until he is convicted. He can't go to a prison because he's not a prisoner. So he's in a holding facility.
And Circus Rider, I agree. I wondered about this. Defense will do a deep dive jury pool. Will they be with the picking of the jurors? Will they be way extra about that? Like making sure that no one's getting paid off and all of that. No one's being coerced.
Yes, they're excellent at that. I'm sorry, I couldn't put this down. I had to do this, man.
Ew.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's great. Snake says, if you know the mob, I knew Sonny Francesi, and he told me you'll never get in trouble as long as you're respectful and keep to yourself. Honestly, that's the truth. You get in trouble in prison when you start running and gunning. You know what I mean? You're doing dope deals, or you're making wine and selling it. If you're in there breaking the rules, then you're going to run with other people that are breaking the rules. If you get in there and get rehabilitated, look, I did 3 prison rips. I did the first 2 of them fighting all the damn time, right? Getting my ass kicked, beating other people like nonstop. And the 3rd one I didn't. It was a wrap. Stop doing dope. It's really remarkable how quickly prison becomes a hell of a lot safer when you stop, drugging and breaking the rules. It's pretty simple, really. I just took a long time to figure it out.
Merry Christmas to you, West Coast Fancy Nancy.
West Coast Fancy Nancy, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Revoltamort. Ooh, I like that, Jess.
Do you and the jury? I was thinking this too. No question, they'll have to be sequestered, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have to be a juror?
Yeah. I don't know how the hell they could not sequester this jury. And yeah, Kim, depending on where you get busted, I have absolutely been brought into big holding cells where people have come up and tried to take my shoes, especially as you're falling asleep. I told you that story. I woke up and the guy was like, get his shoes. And I got up and went, oh, no, that's not going to happen. I promise. You can kick the crap out of me, but I'm keeping these shoes. I like them. They were really nice shoes. Wanda, you look fantastic in green. Thank you so much and welcome. Love that. Yeah, it's this dude's looking at he's got ugly charges. And sadly, this is one of those situations where how do you get cell phones in a prison? I promise I will answer that. This is going to be one of those situations for him where if any of these things stick, any of them, right? The weapons charges to get him 15 years. If anything that they've got on him sticks, he's never going to get out. How do you get a cell phone in prison? Well, the easiest way is find a friend named Casper, because he seemed to be really good at it. I'm sorry, but he really did. The way that we were doing it was my friend Jack set up a fake paint company, right? And he got letterhead and everything, and he mailed it into the department in the prison that does the maintenance, right? CMS, it's called. And it said, hey, we're a new paint company. We'd like to break into industrial stuff. Can we send you some paint samples, right? Free. You like the stuff? They said, sure. So they sent in 3 cans about this big, and they said, if these colors are good, we'll send in larger cans. What do you think? They took the top off, looked at the paint, never stuck anything inside to check or do anything else. We gave them the thumbs up. The big cans came in. And inside, suck-sealed in plastic, were cell phones, dope, anything that we wanted smuggled in were inside in the paint. So that was how we were doing it.
So it's not the gross way that I was thinking.
No, that's how you transport it from one place to the next, right? Like if you're already in and you're getting sent somewhere.
I was wondering, do you think that ladies put stuff in their ham wallets?
Yes, but they get searched.
Okay.
Thank you, Wanda Morrison. I agree.
Real quick, it's DNV's birthday, and I want to share happy birthday.
I'm sorry, it's whose birthday?
DNV.
No way. Happy birthday to you. Merry Christmas and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to DNV. Happy birthday to you. Can someone in Diddy's team buy some of the people in the jury? It's a possibility. I mean, it is. It's a possibility. And allegedly, he's already done it once, right? So it's absolutely a possibility. But it's going to be harder to get away with. Squat and cough. That's right. Grab them, spread them, squat and cough.
They make women do that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta check that locker, right? If you want to keep it in prison, I promise you that's where you're putting it. Right? That's the only way you can guarantee that what you have, you can keep. If you want it, it's gonna go.
Yeah, but I would think squatting and coughing, it wouldn't come out.
It won't. No, it won't. But here's the reason that they do that. It's the funniest thing in the world. I never understood this. But I guess rookies who are new at this, like who aren't in for the all-in moment, kind of do the half in and half out kind of a procedure, so that if you squatted and coughed, it might actually jettison the thing that you got up there. I've never had a problem. Like I could squat, and, we would always squat and cough with whatever we had packed. But now what they do is now you go through. Oh yeah.
Did you put things in your B?
I did. You don't have any option. And I remember looking at this old man and he was like, hey, take it to your hoop, bud. Because the searches were coming. And I'm like, dude, I got drugs. He's like, take it to the hoop. I go, what does that mean? And he's like, shove it up your ass. I was like, yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like, it doesn't mean that much to me, dude. And he's like, well, then you're getting caught with it. And I ate it. But I ate a very expensive amount of drugs that probably should have lasted me a lot longer. And I chowed that thing down. And it wasn't but about 7 or 8 days later, and I had bought $400 worth, and I heard them come through the front door, and they were like, all right, everybody off the rack. And I was like, you know what? How does this process work again? Right? What do I got to do to get this thing up there? He's like, lube it and shove it. And
excuse me? What was
you heard me.
Babe, nothing is that important, and I have a ham wallet. Like, nothing's going into my panty hamster. But if I had to put something, it would go into that. I would be afraid. But I have an underdeveloped B. It's extra tight. You know this. And I don't think for 1 second we're going to be able to put a phone in there. That's incredible. That's very talented.
Yeah, well, it's not so much a matter of talent. It is mother necessity is what it is. You want to keep this, you're going to keep it, right? That's how you're going to keep it. What did you use for lube? Vaseline. We're allowed to have. Oh
God, Kestrel, please.
Well, that's what we used, right?
Okay? I just have to ask it. Everybody's thinking it.
Nothing going in a poo shoot when you have a badge. We have hit the. We have gone off the rails. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. When you have a panty hamster or a ham wallet, as I like to call it. Hey, I'm going to ask this. I need to get it out there. Otherwise, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Okay.
I don't think I want to know. I have to do it. What's the largest thing that you put in your B? Or that you know of someone putting in their B? If you don't want to answer this, you can say someone else did it and we'll just know it was you. What is it? We're asking for your friend, please.
Yeah, no. So no, I can actually answer this question, as crazy as that is. They used to sell tobacco in bags about this big, right? It was called.
Forgive my face. I'm having facial
facial
Tourette's.
4 Aces, and this bag came with 6 ounces of tobacco in it. 6 ounces. I have seen phones, but 6 ounces of tobacco. And the way that this was done is they took a toilet paper roll and they put tobacco in the toilet paper roll and packed it down with the back end of a.
We don't need hand gestures with this. You can just tell the story. I don't need hand motions. Thank you so much, though.
No, you do. Pack it down with this, with the back end of this until they got 6 ounces, right, of this into the inside of a toilet paper roll. Then they rolled that in plastic, right, and took this to the hoop. By the way, not me. True story.
No, this was a cellmate.
Sure. I'll tell you the story. I was in the Nevada state prison system, a state system, and this guy had just finished a sentence in California, and he was being extradited to Nevada. And in California, a thing of Bugler was going for $1,500 because there's no tobacco allowed in the system. So he gets there, and I go, "Hey man, welcome." He's coming ready to dinner. I go, "Welcome, dude." I said, "I got a little welcome kit for you. Shower slides, everything you need." And he goes, "Yeah, I brought a little something too." I go, "No way, dude." He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Just turn around. Let me get this thing out." So I turned around, looked out my window, watched birds. Literally, it was in Nevada. And this gentleman grunts out a 6-ounce package of 4 Aces. And as he's breaking this up on a desk, right, he's cleaned it and he's taking it out of the plastic and he's breaking it up on the desk. And I looked down at it, right? And I went, "What am I looking at? The hell is that?" And he goes, "It's tobacco. It's 4 Aces." And I went, "Wow." I go, "How much is there?" And he goes, "Dude, that's a full bag, man." Because that's a full bag. And I pulled my locker, this little yellow foot locker, out from underneath the bed. And I opened it up. And inside, I had 14 bags of 4 Aces tobacco. And he looked at it and went, "You got to be effing shitting me." And I go, "No." And he goes, you could smoke here? I go, yeah, yeah. And he goes, dude. He goes, everybody told me it was like $2,000, right? And I said, no, dude, it's you can buy it at store here. And I was like, man, you should have brought drugs. And he goes, I was gonna. He's like, but they told me that the tobacco was. I go, yeah. On the bright side, you saved yourself $11 because it's $11 for a bag of 4 aces. Yeah, no joke. How bad is that though? And he rode a bus from California to Nevada, going, oh, God, every time there was a bump.
No, the visuals were great.
Sorry, but
I can't remember a time before this story. Thank you for sharing that, babe. And I'm sorry I asked that question.
And isn't it a Merry Christmas?
That's the worst thing I've heard probably so far, at least this last quarter of the year. So thank you for that. Yeah, I am filled with a lot of regret, and I'll probably lose sleep knowing the answer. I wish I didn't know the answer.
You asked for it. Now, actually, there was this one other time at Victorville, and I make this really quick, but there was a guy that used to transport stuff for them. And this guy, by the way, this was a rarity because this gentleman was walking a yard. You romantic. This gentleman was walking a yard, and he was known to be gay. And that's not usually something that can happen at a penitentiary. But they allowed this guy to do this because of his ability to smuggle stuff in for them. And as the story goes, because I was not in the cell at the time, but as the story goes, the guy.
No, I'm sure you weren't.
I was not. I wasn't. I was sleeping in. I had a really bad night the night before on drugs. But he had dropped a very large package, or inside they call it a clavo, and he had dropped this thing out and was, putting it out so that they could get the stuff out of it. And they are never nice to this dude because that's how prisoners are. And they were, told him to, get the F out and this and that. And he goes, "Don't you want the other one?" And the story went around the prison for about 8 days. It really, inquiring minds want to know. See, now you've learned that you know what not to say.
I'll never make this mistake ever again.
See that? Again, so it's a Christmas miracle.
Thank you not only for the story, but the animated, the gestures with your hands, packing things with a toilet paper roll.
Oh, I'll pack things.
Oh, I know you will too. Oddly enough, I'm into it. But you know what you're doing. You're clearly talented at what you do, and I appreciate that so much. But don't ever forget that I do have it's very underdeveloped sphincter.
Yes, that's what
I did, Helena. I did. Thank you for the answer, babe. Next time you could just email us the rest of that story. And
you asked for this. All there. You asked for this and you got this.
It was incredibly realistic. And again, I felt like I was in that cell with you. So thank you for that. And you're a good storyteller, babe.
I probably could have done
That's my guy. That's my guy. He's talented and he's a very good storyteller. And he can pack things in his little backpack.
Do you know the funniest part of this story is if you've ever watched my girlfriend on her channel, I'm not kidding you. Like what I just did is the tamest program. If this had been Relatable Reese on a scale of 1 to 10 on the Relatable Reese program, this would be a 2. You go over on Relatable Reese and you're liable to catch a sex tape, or anyway.
Babe, that is not true. Just because I was over there tonight talking about how I nearly crapped my pants after our Mexican food the other day and you called me a romantic devil has nothing to do with this story.
Yeah, we were going home and she went, "Oh God, I might chip myself." I went, "You romantic devil, you." Huh? Love it.
I said, "Hurry, hit the gas, babe. We got to get home because I'm losing the battle."
Yeah. And I said, "You are a romantic devil. Nothing will put you in the mood." You know what I mean? You've got skill.
Yeah, I mean, but at least my story things are coming out, not going in.
Yes.
My fanny pack.
Just the audio, not the whole tape. All right, I get the message.
Meredith Lynn, it was just the audio. She's right. It was just the audio, and it was good. It was great.
So you were there. Okay.
I don't have any regrets. I'm glad I did it. I'll double down. I'll do it again. Don't tell me. Don't say other words.
You regretted. Come on. No regrets.
I don't regret anything sexually with you. Okay. Never once.
No, that's not what I meant. I should hope.
And not. I used to be incredibly vanilla until I met this criminal.
Walk like
What's
an
that?
Egyptian. Nothing.
I forgot where we were. I forgot that we were live. You were saying?
We do get that a lot. Hey, do you think they know we're still here? Remember that one? We were in the middle
All
of a
the
real good
time.
fight once, which we did for you. We came on here and just sort of hashed out something. And I looked
Yeah.
down at the chats. We're kind of getting heated at each other. And I looked down and someone wrote, "Do you think they still know we're
Do you
here?"
think they forgot that we were here? Yeah. That's okay. We're just that comfortable with each other.
This generation of Lucy and Desi, I love that.
I like
Right?
that too.
Hey, Quibs, I'm home. Right?
You know, I was born in 84.
What? Yeah, I know. That's all right, though. They had reruns in 84, didn't they? Or were they done with TV by then?
Everything was in color, so I don't know.
I was partying pretty good by 84. Not going to lie.
I knew this.
By that time, I had jumped the rails and was. How about them Yankees? See, I like what you did there. Hell of a team. Hell of a team. Now, Merry Christmas, kid. I love you. I really do. I'm gonna be packing up the old kick bag and heading to Bug Tussle. So do me a favor and stick close because I will be on the Tommy in 1984 was a wild man. Yes, no question, Michael. I was.
His future girlfriend was only 14
in 1984. No, I was 14. You had just been born.
Oh yeah, we're 14 years old. Did you just give me the most judgmental look I've ever seen after you just told an ass packing story?
No,
Don't
I was just
talking to me like that right now.
I was just looking at the cat.
That is true, though.
Let's just get this straight one more time, though. You were 14 in 1984?
I was just.
That means we're the same age.
And thank you, Yadira, for asking if people want to be subscribed to me because they probably just unsubscribed. Merry Christmas, everyone. He's going to be packing his real bag, not his little butt bag, and he's going to be coming to see me. Thank you, Kristen Melinda.
Hey, I was a sophomore in high school in 84 too.
Helena.
And I might have been a nerd in it. No, I wasn't. Not by 84. I was a burnout by 84.
I saw pictures. You were hot.
Thank you. You're just saying that because you love me.
Probably. I'm pretty
because you've never liked anybody below the age of 50, and we all know that.
You're pretty young for me, babe. You're cutting
no question.
Close. Very close.
That's a hell of an idea. We should do a reaction show. That's a great idea.
Kathy Ann, are you in here? She was going to post on both of our channels the New Year's video for people to watch so that we can see the Kristen Melinda, I love you, girl. So they can see the new one versus the old one. Of course, we don't know what the new one's going to entail.
This is funny. I have shoes older than you. You know my favorite? Oh, I do know what the new one's going to entail. You don't, but I have a pretty good idea. I got it all worked out in my head. I have shoulder inside. Since we'll end on this, since I've already set the place on fire. Inside, the big expression is, "You're how old, dude? I got herpes sores older than you." Or bullet wounds. That's the other one. Got bullet wounds older than you.
Wow, this was a bit of a dark Christmas. Thank you for taking us there and making everyone incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh, I didn't do that. You did that when you made my brother a mod before you made me a mod.
Okay, how many times are we going to bring this up? Guys, he's going to come visit me. Castrol. Kathy Ann made him a mod. I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's a really good lie. Appreciate that, but well played. Toss Kathy Ann under the bus.
Guys, there's a cat in a basket, but Kathy, I love you. He's going to come to Bug Tussle. I really hope you guys tune in on that New Year's Eve stream.
Yeah, really looking forward to
it. He tells me it's going to be very special. Kathy. Don't put me in this. Okay, yeah, Kathy, please. No, please post that live. So guys, please come over and watch it. It's going to be really special. Tommy apparently has all kinds of plans for it.
I do. I have all kinds of plans for it. So, and I will see all of you tomorrow everywhere. I'm going to be on Sean Atwood tomorrow. I'm going to be over here tomorrow. We're still going to ride this tough through the end of the holiday. Right.
And we're going to have some Jester content as well. So don't mess around.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Merry Christmas to you guys. This was fun, babe. Thanks for having me. Guys, thanks for being so welcoming, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Now, by the way, if you, for any reason, get bored, stop by tomorrow. We're going to tell you other fun things people took to the hoop. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. God bless. Bye-bye.